Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm Bo and I'm all by my lonesome again, so you know what that means. That means I'm gonna talk a lot. This is weekly check-in for week 3 of August, which for me and for my partner Win is going from August 9th down to August 15th. So we are bi-weekly budgeters, and we also do a monthly budget just to keep an overall eye on things. Win is a substitute teacher, and as such, he does not get paid full-time during the summer. He has to find summer work every year. And also he has to reapply for his job every year. So he's not guaranteed an income past the school year that he is currently in. So he had to apply for this job again. He also applied for a few other jobs. We shall see how things shake out. The school is saying they want him to start back this coming week. So fingers crossed, hopefully he will be employed again, and then we can stop all this rollover nonsense. We have been rolling over our income to make his pay from last school year stretch. So far, he still has not brought in all of his paychecks from the school year. He has 1.5, like 3 weeks worth of paycheck left. Yeah. One full paycheck and one half paycheck. He still has those left to bring into the budget. So we are doing a-okay, because as long as he starts work again next week, that's like his first check, his first pay will coincide with the end of that pay. So we should be good to go again. Fingers crossed again. But all that being said, let's get into it. So as I said, we've been rolling income over to make it stretch as long as possible. So he rolled over $1,837. I rolled over $1,495. And then he paid his S&M collections. That was $50. And then kids copay came out for $40. And that's a weekly expense. It's all the kids are in therapy, have been since he broke up with their mom, basically, a little while after. And then on the 10th, adventure money came out and miscellaneous. This is actually, so this money, he takes out the $20 in quarters to put in the kids' piggy banks, and the $30 he takes that out in cash as well. And that's like his spending money. I don't track that. He doesn't track that. It's whatever he wants to do with that money. It's 100% fine. And then I stuffed my envelopes for $400, and you're going to see on the next sheet where that went. And then we had snacky snacks. Me, him, and all the kids, we all had hot dogs and pizza slices at Costco. And we're going to have a little chat about Costco as well at the end of this. So that was $11. And then on the 11th, we were supposed to go school shopping. However, back to school shopping for the kids. However, they also needed clothes. So the oldest being, by like a few minutes, I guess. He has twin boys that are 9 years old, and then another younger son. Goodness gracious, I'm stumbling over my words, sorry. A younger son who's 7. The older twin is growing like an absolute weed and has way outgrown most of his clothes. We'd already bought him some things that were that fit, but he didn't have enough to last like more than a few days. So we bought him more. So that was $70 out of Wynn's clothing fund for the kids. We did not go back to school shopping because, again, the clothes took long enough. Like, finding clothes that he was willing to wear that fit and that were school appropriate. That's like a very delicate balance and a very narrow thing. So yeah, that took a while, and we called it quits at that. We actually decided we are going to fill shopping carts on Amazon and then go to Family Dollar and Walmart and see if we can get things cheaper in person versus Amazon. Otherwise, we're going to go with Amazon. So yeah, that's how we're going to do that, and we are going to do that this coming weekend. And then didn't spend anything on the 12th. And then on the 13th, Wynn got a pizza slice at Costco again, pizza slice and a drink. And then I paid my car wash membership. Now, that's another thing we got to talk about. I really want to talk about memberships today after this. I really want to talk about memberships and subscriptions, like annual subscriptions, because things are changing. Things are changing. Again, for more financial stability. And then on the 14th, I paid his debt for $147. So that is that. Yeah. As you can see, like almost all of our spending is like concentrated on Fridays and Saturdays. It's just how that goes. I don't know why it works out that way, but yeah. Okay, so on to revolving envelopes. These are not actual envelopes. The only thing I actually pull out in cash on, this is my side of the budget. The only things I pull out in cash is health. So health is in cash. Everything else is like basically I spend it on credit cards, but I pay back the credit cards every week. So didn't go over budget this time in any of my envelope categories. Round of applause. I'm proud of me. But yeah, this is a little tracker I just made up. Like, it makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, I'm sorry. If you have ideas for how to make this better, feel free to let me know. But I did it this way because I don't have a lot of transactions in each category, so I didn't feel like keeping up with a whole separate calendar for my envelopes. And I figured just like doing the addition and subtraction per week would be the easiest way to track things without like having a whole like extended list of transactions. But anyway, we did good. We did good this week. Okay, so groceries, stuffed 90, spent 79. So proud of us. So there's 21 left. Bulk buys. This is, it's pretty much just Costco. I just didn't want to, I talked about it with Wynn, of course. We didn't really want to just call this Costco because we do buy some things from Costco that aren't bulk items necessarily. So we didn't really want to have that just as a Costco category, because then we'd have to adjust the other categories as well, because we buy things from Costco that are in most of the categories. So I don't know. I have to think about that. I might in the future, just because, I don't know, it might be a good thing to track, but definitely for this year, this is just the things from Costco that we get that are a subset of groceries. This is part of our grocery spending. So, stuffed 40 in that, spent 26, so there's 33 left. Transportation, didn't spend anything, stuffed 60, so 60 is left. And health, stuffed 75, spent 59, so 178 is left. Household, and for health, what was this even? Oh, this was Wynn's prescriptions, some of Wynn's prescriptions. And then household, stuff 25, spent 11. This was notebooks. And that leaves $64. For birthdays, added 5, didn't spend any, so 95 left. Clothing, added 15, didn't spend anything, so 24 left. Shoes, added 25, didn't spend anything, so 101 left. And Wynn is gonna need new shoes soon, so that's gonna be a whole thing. Probably next paycheck. Next paycheck, probably gonna get him new shoes, because his shoes are wearing out. He He has extremely wide feet. It's called 6E wide. So extra, extra wide shoes is what he wears, a 13 extra, extra wide. So it's hard to find shoes that fit him. And also because he is so used to wearing shoes that are too small, like he has foot and back problems. And also, since his feet were so smushed, like his big toes, like he has like almost bunions. Like they're not exactly bunions, or they're not bunions yet, but it's like on the borderline. So his feet are struggling, and we get him, and me, honestly, we both wear orthopedic shoes. Don't mind us. We're almost 40. We want to be comfortable. So those are a little more pricey than regular shoes. So they're like the shoes that I get him, which he absolutely loves, are like $125-ish. So it might be next paycheck or the paycheck after that we get him new shoes, because his hardly have any tread left. And then pet food, added 15, didn't spend any, so that's $94 so far. And then personal, added 50, didn't spend anything, so 50. Now, we are going to go to the Renaissance Festival this weekend, which I probably should have put in the calendar, but I don't know. I'm not really in the habit of putting personal events in the calendar because I forget, on the budget calendar anyway. But probably going to spend this on food at the Renaissance Fair and maybe an activity. So that shall be gone. And then rollover that I have left is $916 after spending $579. So let us look at what this means for the budget. Okay, so this is the paycheck worksheet. I just got this from Vertex 42. It's just a generic zero-based budget worksheet. Nothing fancy. I color-coded it so that I could tell on the calendar which bank accounts things come from. So everything lines up. I like my math to math, y'all. I get nervous when numbers don't add up, which is part of why I don't use change. I just round up all the transactions. So let's look at it. So from savings, so far we have taken out $70. No paychecks are involved in this paycheck. This paycheck budget doesn't have any paychecks. It just has savings and rollover. Rollover was $3,332 this time, as budgeted, because I actually wrote the budget after I closed out the last budget. Again, proud of myself. Normally I guesstimate or go with old numbers for what I expect, and I don't want to do that anymore, but that means getting the timing right. So we record when we have quiet times, which mainly means no children. We try to record with the children sometimes, and it usually doesn't work because they want a snack, they want to play, they jump off their bunk bed and break the hamper, which happened. We're gonna have to replace the hamper because they broke it bad. Jumped off the bunk bed and landed on it. It was ridiculous. The kids are fine. Kids are 100% fine. Hamper is not. But yeah, we go for pockets of time that work the best for recording, which means the only sounds you really hear are traffic and maybe my cat and the cicadas. So, we do what we can. But yes, rollover is actually accurate this time. That brings our inflow total to $3,402 so far. We are not investing right now. That's not where we are in our financial journey. And then his spending, this is his checking account. We have kid bills. 40 came out. The other 40 is going to come out next week. Well, the next tracking week. So I track Friday to Thursday. So Friday is when the other $40 comes out. Does not get reflected until next week. You know what I mean, y'all. I try to keep the transactions within the time period. Even if I'm recording this after the time period's over, I still just look at those transactions because otherwise I confuse myself and I'm not trying to do that. S&M collections came out 50 as expected. Heating bill has not come out yet. Student loans have not come out yet. Electric bill is not due this pay period at all, which means this month, which I do paycheck budgeting, so I do 2 paychecks in a month, and that's it. I don't add the extra week. I don't do that. I know some people do, but I found it more confusing, so I just make a month either 4 weeks or 6 weeks, depending on if it's a magic month. With the first week of the month, the first week of the first paycheck. Oh my goodness, how do I put this? Okay, the first paycheck covers the first of the month. Whew, there you go. First paycheck covers the first of the month for me every time. It makes more sense to me because then I know the big boy rent is going to be due in the first paycheck of the month. So there's no confusion as to which month is the magic month, and I don't have to worry about like rolling over money by one day or something. I find all of that very confusing and extra work. I don't like it. But that means sometimes some bills come out twice in a month, and some bills come out not at all in a month, just because the 4 weeks versus 6 weeks thing. So some people find that more confusing. I, however, would just like my paycheck to last until my next one. I don't know, call me crazy. Then Adventures got the 20 as budgeted. Miscellaneous got the 30 as budgeted. He is rolling over. We're just going with what we originally said, the $15.72. I will lower this amount if that's what's left, but I'm really aiming for $15.72. And I think going with how much rollover I expected, like actually shows how much money is left at the end, if that makes sense. So subtotal is $17.12 as opposed to the $18.37 that's supposed to be left, but that is because we took less from savings because we haven't gone back to school shopping yet. So budget remaining is $16.90. And then he is not saving any money. So his savings account is not being increased at all because we are just trying to make the money last until his first paycheck of the school year. So we go to my spending, which is my checking account. So my monthly bill is $18. That is my car wash membership. And then his debt got $147. It will get this other 20 of the 167, but that is actually on auto pay every 2 weeks, so that like some of the interest on the other. How do I put this? Okay, so the 147 is going to the principal balance of the highest interest student loan that he has. And then I have an auto pay of $20 that goes to all of the student loans that he has. And that is just to take down a little bit of the interest on the other ones because, like, I don't know, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better when those numbers don't go up so much because otherwise his minimum payment is only $36. So it doesn't even touch the interest accrued. So I like kind of double that to just take a little bit down so that they're not all like humongous, except for the one that's getting the focus. I don't know. It just makes me feel better. It's probably not, I know it's not the best idea financially speaking, like math wise, but it makes me feel better. So, $20 every 2 weeks. Let me live my life. You're not my real dad, Caleb. And then dining out, we only spent $14, which is fantastic for us. We're like on the money. And then envelopes got the $400 that I went over before. It will get that other $130. We still have another week of groceries and another week of bulk buys. Yeah, that's still like on track. And then my rollover, we're going to go with what I originally said, which is $750. For now, we shall see if we go over budget. So the subtotal is $13.29, and that leaves us with $361, which now you see is more than what we budgeted, because of how how things are going so far. So $361 is left, and then I'm not saving anything because I am with Win, and we are doing this as a team. And the months that he saves, I save. The months that he doesn't save, I don't save. Just so we can get closer to being on even terms. So if you didn't know, he has a bunch of debt. I have none. He makes more than I do through most of the year, but then hardly makes anything on the summer. And I make okay money, but I'm temporarily in a promotion because I'm covering for someone's maternity leave. Whole life is chaotic, so we try to find as much stability as we can. And part of that is pausing savings while his income is reduced. So that is that. And then back to school for savings spent. Back to school, we're still going to go back to school shopping, but we have not yet because we had to get clothes, and we weren't trying to deal with all that stress of having them pick out clothes, try on clothes, and also pick out which color folders they want and all this other stuff. We weren't trying to do all of that in one day. So that is yet to come out. And then kid clothes was the $70 taken from Win's kids savings bucket, which is actually 3 categories in one. It's kids clothes and furniture, back to school, and summer camp and winter camp. Yeah, summer winter camp, which they did not go to this summer because they were in summer school instead. So yeah, that is a subtotal of $70 from savings, and that leaves us with $291. And this $291 is all according to plan. We're on track to not have to take anything out of rollover. And now, zero-based budget. So this $291 should be dispersed, and whatever's left will get rolled over because, again, Win has not gotten his first paycheck yet, so we are treading water. But now that part's done, and anyone who is bored with hearing my voice has probably already made it to the wayside, let's have a little chitty chat. So I want to talk about memberships and subscriptions. I've mentioned this before, but I have this car wash membership, which is $18 a month. I get my car washed regularly all year long. Yes, even in the winter, actually kind of especially in the winter because all the salt wears away at your paint and causes rust and all that other stuff. So if it is over 30 degrees, I'm washing my car that week. So this is 100% worth it to me. If it doesn't matter to you, good for you. That's fine. I think I like to keep my car washed. It's kind of a leftover from when I drove rideshare. And I constantly vacuumed out my car, constantly wiped down my dash and washed my car and all that good stuff. Kept it really clean. Having kids in the house makes it a lot harder to keep a car clean. They put their fingerprints on just about everything and leave crumbs and stuff. And nope. I like to keep my car clean. So I am planning to keep this. However, they have an option for an annual membership instead, and that is $199 a year. So I would save a little money, but that means coming up with $200 up front. And I do have a subscriptions bucket. I have subscription savings. However, I do not have enough for the whole year of everything plus this car wash membership. So my thought was, I am going to, like, once the school year starts and when starts getting paid again, we're going to start saving again. And I'm going to start saving for subscriptions probably starting in February, so that I have the year's worth of subscription money. So until then, until I like start saving for that, I'm not going to have the money to pay for this car wash membership for the whole year up front. And this is one of those things where like it's being poor is expensive, y'all, because this bulk stuff, like look at this. So right now I pay $18 a month, right? If I switch to this annual, that's $199 a year. So you divide that by 12 and you get $16.58 a month, which is in fact less than $18. So I would be saving $1.40 a month, which is not a lot. But when you add that to all the other things that I save money on throughout the year through getting things in bulk and having annual memberships instead of monthly, like it adds up, y'all. It adds up, which is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, wait, I'm not sure I actually said this. So the conclusion to this whole car wash annual membership switch is I'm going to wait to sign up for the annual until I actually have the money saved in the bucket for next year's annual memberships. So this is going to be hanging around for a little while longer, and then I will start saving my little $1.40 a month, which, you know, it adds up. Next, the other membership I wanted to talk about. Can you see this clearly? Let me see. Can we focus? Are we focused? I don't know. I can't tell. Okay, so membership to Costco. Costco just raised their membership price. So when I first signed up for Costco, it was $50 a year for the regular membership and $100 a year for the executive membership. And then they moved it up to $60 a year for regular membership and $120 for the executive, which I was like, okay, whatever. And now they've raised it additionally. So now it's $65 for a regular membership and $130 for an executive. I have the executive. And that means when you have the executive membership, you get 2% cash back on all your Costco purchases, besides like the food court and I think postage stamps and like a few other things that they don't count. But basically most of the things that you get at the register, you get 2% back on, which is great, right? It's great. But the issue with that is double the membership fee. So will you make your money back? That is the question. This year, I did make my money back. I got this in the mail when I got my renewal reminder for my membership. And with the renewal reminder also came the cash back little check, which you can only redeem in the Costco with an active membership at the register. So they don't want people who are non-members to have this or to be able to spend this, which, you know, I respect that. But if you're going to get the executive membership, that means you need to, in theory, if you want it to be worth it, you need to spend enough so that your cash back check is more than the difference between the executive membership and the regular membership. So in order to get $65 back in your annual like cash back check, that means you need to spend $3,250 a year at Costco minimum in order to get the 2% cash back, to be more than the difference between the memberships. So that's what would make it worth it. However, on top of that, I also have the Costco City credit card. So I get an additional, on top of the executive 2% cashback, I get an additional 2% cashback at Costco with that credit card, and 4% cashback on gas and 3% cashback on restaurants. So it ends up, between those two, it ends up being like way worth it to have the membership. I just got, as I said, I just got my cashback check in the mail with this, and it was more than the difference between the executive and the regular membership. So great, right? And earlier in this year, in February, I believe it was, I cashed the credit card cashback, and that was, how much was that? That was more than double what the Costco executive cashback was. So it totally was worth it. Between the two of them, if you subtract the membership, Costco basically paid me an additional $100 to be, actually no, wait. If you subtract the membership, yeah, they gave me $100 to be a member, essentially. So that's great. Also, if you buy rice in bulk, it's cheaper. If you buy oatmeal in bulk, it's cheaper. If you buy gas from Costco, it's cheaper. So like, we're saving money by buying in bulk, and also we're getting cash back, which is great as long as the math works out. So these are like a couple of the ways in which we're saving money. And then on top of that, when you save for your annual memberships, say in a high yield savings account, we use Ally. When you save for those things, then you're getting the bank account interest, you're getting the savings account interest on that money that you're saving, in addition to getting that cash back, getting those discounts, saving money by getting annual memberships. So there's like multiple facets of benefits for having annual memberships if you do it carefully. Sometimes it's not worth it. I've had some annual memberships that weren't worth it to me. But I think that very much depends on what your priorities are and what your interests are. But by all means, do your research, see what would work for you, and adjust as needed. Like whenever you see something that like isn't quite lining up, like if you have a Netflix membership, Netflix subscription, whatever, Netflix just went up. So now I was a Netflix basic customer. So I was paying $14 a month, essentially. It's like 13 and some change if you include tax. And now it's going up because the basic membership got removed. So you can either lower your bill by watching ads or raise your bill by getting rid of ads. Personally, to me, getting rid of ads is almost always worth it because I'm that person who, if I see a bunch of ads for something, I want to actually check it out. So if I see things that get rid of ads and I can pay a little bit more for it, I'm going to do it. I do that with YouTube. I do that with Netflix. I did that with Spotify. To me, it's worth it because I'm not trying to be tricked into spending money on things that I don't actually need just because it looks fun and shiny. I do that enough watching all you budgeters on YouTube with all your fancy setups, and you're like, that's how I ended up with this calculator. I saw this calculator on someone's channel. I think it was Amanda's Budgets. She has a similar calculator, if I remember correctly. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. I want it. And then I went on Amazon and I bought it. Same with the erasable pens. I saw someone, I forgot who it was, but I saw someone on YouTube budgeting with erasable pens. And I was like, that is such a great idea. And then I bought it. You know, the struggle's real. The struggle's real. And I'm trying to limit my ads as much as possible. So I am paying for that. And to me, it's worth it because I end up spending less money overall. At least it feels like it. If I'm being tricked into that too, I think I'll be okay. But my little rant is over and done with. If you have any subscriptions that you think, like annual subscriptions that you think are 100% worth it, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how other people think about it, because I think sometimes it can be a little bit of a like controversial topic. Like some people get real up in arms about people, especially people who don't make a lot of money, having a lot of subscriptions and annual memberships and stuff like that. So, you know, put your little hot takes in the comments. I appreciate you so much. And never forget that you deserve financial stability. Sorry this video was so long. I was a little chatty today. I hope you have a great day on purpose though. Bye.